One of the questions that students often ask me is, how can I focus? And they share with me that quite often they overthink, they feel extremely anxious. And I'm not surprised, because I think that we can all say we see this in society. There are so many people living in survival mode. And my students' age ranges from like 10 to 45 at the moment. And I see that it affects all ages and both men and women. And unfortunately, at school, students are not taught about how to calm their busy mind and what techniques they can use to relax the body. And when there are too many anxious thoughts in the mind, this is when the mind cannot focus, the mind cannot remember, and we could be forcing and pushing and reading a text over and over again, and we can just feel more and more frustrated, or perhaps it could take us a lot longer to remember, what we are learning. And what I really feel passionate about is teaching my students. Before I tell them how to calm the mind, I teach them how the brain works. I teach them what happens in our body and our mind when we feel that there is a saber-toothed tiger behind us. And that comes from our ancestors. So there is a very small part in our brain, in the reptilian part of the brain called the amygdala, which hasn't evolved throughout the centuries. And if you think about your perhaps history lessons, you know that our ancestors thousands and thousands of years ago, they lived in the wild. There were wild animals everywhere, and they needed something to alert them that there is danger in the bushes. And this particular part of the brain, which I mentioned, the amygdala, has a very important role. It scans for danger. So through our senses, we can see what's happening around us. We can hear the sound of the leaves, perhaps a broken twig, a broken branch, which could indicate that an animal is hiding behind us. At that particular moment, the heart starts to react as well, and the mind and the brain, and the heart and the brain start to work so quickly. They send signals to each other, and the body prepares itself to fight or flight. That is, to perhaps try to kill that dangerous animal, or to run as quickly as possible. At that particular moment, the amygdala increases its size, and it sends oxygen to our limbs, our arms and our legs, so that we can run as quickly as possible. But what it also does, it doesn't send enough oxygen to other parts of the brain called the prefrontal cortex and the hippocampus, which are very important in those moments when we're focusing to learn, when we're focusing to present, when we're on the stage and we are just about to give a speech, or we're about to present, we are just about to sit for a very important exam. So lots of physiological changes happen in the body, and I'm sure that you have experienced that racing heartbeat. Perhaps you've noticed that you have started to sweat. Why do we sweat? The body is very clever. Going back to our ancestors and the wild animals around them, the body had to adapt to save the person. So we sweat so that when this saber-toothed tiger bites that, horrible human being, tastes awful because it doesn't like the acid. You may feel the urge to go to the toilet. Why? Again, we need to run as fast as possible. We need to save ourselves. So the body needs to be as light as possible. So you may feel the urge to go to the toilet because of the way the body wants us to eliminate anything that will prevent us from moving, running as fast as possible. So knowing all that, we need to understand that nowadays there are no predators, there are no saber-toothed tigers around us. However, we have so much distraction. We have so many notifications, emails, negative news, terrible headlines when you open the newspapers, or when we go on social media, we compare ourselves with people's lives, people we don't even know, but we think that they have their perfect life. So our mind is really struggling to focus because of all these distractions, but also because everything around us, or mostly everything around us, tells us that we are in danger. So even though there are no wild animals around us anymore and our life has evolved, the amygdala hasn't evolved and it still reacts in the same way. When the danger is real, there is a bus coming towards us, or when the danger is perceived, is imaginary, when our mind wanders off, goes back into the past and brings that nasty email or something, or perhaps a time when we were little, when we were told off, somebody told us that we're not good enough, we do not speak good English, we can never become good English speakers. Perhaps projects into the future and we think about the upcoming exams, the fast approaching deadline, and we have to present in English and we still feel so uncertain and scared about that presentation. So in those moments when you realize that your attention has been hijacked again by negative thoughts and negative feelings, allow yourself simply to pause, and if possible, close your eyes and think about a place that brings you calm. It could be a real place. Perhaps you can bring a moment from a holiday at the seaside. Or it could be a place in an enchanting forest you visited when you were little. Or it could be a completely new, unreal place. A place that exists only in your imagination, but a place that makes you feel so calm. And let's imagine that this is the place which is just behind me, a beautiful, calming forest. You can close your eyes. You can take a deep breath and then exhale. And then take another deep breath, visualizing breathing in calm. And when you breathe out, visualize, imagine that what is worrying you is leaving your body. See this place in your mind's eye. See the green leaves, the different shades of green. See the beautiful butterflies fluttering around you. Notice their colors. Some of them have blue wings with white dots. And here it is, a red one with some black dots. And let's see what we can hear now. We can hear a bird chirping in the distance. And here it is, a lovely red-breasted robin that's perched on a branch just to the right, tuning to its song and its calming voice. Let's invite a sense of touch. Bend down and take one of the leaves. Feel the texture of the leaf. Feel the moss that covers the bark of the tree. Feel the different textures around you. Take another deep breath and then exhale really, really loudly. Perhaps you would like to hum when you exhale. And when you exhale, really notice this wave of relaxation that is coming from the top of your head down your body and is leaving you through your toes. Feel that relaxation in your body. Feel that weight coming off your shoulders. And then soon, I can definitely guarantee you that you will feel a lot lighter, a lot calmer, and those thoughts, those imaginary fears that were in your mind would have completely gone, because you were able to access this calming place, this place where serenity, where stillness, where relaxation live. So that's a very powerful, very easy, but really potent calming exercise that you can use anytime when you feel anxious, when you feel scared again. And remember that nobody can take this calming place that exists in your imagination from you. Nobody can take this away from you. Because when inner peace exists, reigns in your heart and your mind, this is when you can focus. This is when we can remember. This is when creativity flows. This is when ideas just come to you so easily and solutions just pop out so easily. So let me know how this exercise was for you, and perhaps you would like to share which calming place you would like to imagine in your head anytime when you feel anxious. I'll see you soon.
Grow your language, expand your world with Learn English. Actually.